The alarm goes off. Your chest feels tight. You reach for your phone, not because you want to, but because you need to feel something familiar. That quiet panic. It's not just exhaustion. It's the weight of another day that doesn't feel like yours. Pressure, noise, demands that hit before you've even stood up. But here's a truth most people never learn. The first thoughts you choose in the morning are not just thoughts, they're instructions to your brain. They rewire how you see, feel, and act for the rest of the day. Marcus Aurelius used his mornings not to scroll, but to strengthen his mind. He reminded himself, "You will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest." Not to complain, but to prepare, to anchor himself in reason before the world rushed in. Most people let the morning slip into chaos. They drift, they react, they open their eyes and start losing themselves all over again. But you can use these first 5 minutes as a kind of secret weapon, a ritual of power, a mental armor, because Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom, it's a survival tool, and in today's noise, it might be the only thing keeping you sane. In this video, you'll learn 10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning, grounded in Stoic philosophy, backed by modern neuroscience, and designed to calm your mind, stop overthinking, and anchor your day in inner peace. These are not affirmations for vanity. They're reminders of truth, of clarity, of who you are when the world isn't pulling at your attention. So, if you're tired of waking up anxious, if your mind feels like a battlefield before the sun is even up, if you want to reclaim your mornings and with them your life, comment below, "I choose calm every day." Let's begin. 1. Own your emotions. Have you ever noticed how easily your entire day can be ruined just by one thought? One email, one look, one memory that hits you before breakfast. You feel hijacked, like your peace was stolen before you even left the house. But here's the truth. You are responsible for how today feels, no one else. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and one of the most powerful voices on human freedom, wrote, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That space, it's sacred. And you step into it the moment you remind yourself, "This emotion is mine. I choose how to carry it." Epictetus said it just as clearly, "What disturbs men's minds is not events, but their judgments on events." It's not the traffic, not the message, not the silence from someone you care about. It's the meaning your mind attaches to it, the story you tell yourself. Imagine a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer just reacts. A thermostat sets the temperature. When you wake up, you're either reacting to the noise or setting the tone. Owning your emotional thermostat means you take back authorship, not by suppressing your feelings, but by seeing them, naming them, and choosing your next move with clarity. So the next time the anxiety creeps in, pause, breathe. Remind yourself, this feeling doesn't own me. I respond, I don't react. That's not avoidance, that's power, and few people ever claim it. 2. Protect your peace. Ever had a moment of calm? Then one comment, one headline, one person shattered it in seconds? You were fine and then you weren't. Just like that. That's how fragile peace can feel when we forget this truth. Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission. Most people think peace is something you find out there. A place, a person, a condition. But peace isn't found. It's protected. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. It's one of the most radical teachings of Stoicism, that your mind is a fortress, and you are the gatekeeper. No one gets in unless you open the door. It doesn't mean you won't feel irritation, anger, pain. It means you stop giving strangers and circumstances the keys to your inner world. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff with the wind howling. If you try to silence the wind, you'll lose. But if you step back, anchor yourself and face it, you stand firm. That's how peace works. It's not the absence of noise. It's the refusal to be shaken by it. When someone disrespects you, pause. When the news triggers panic, breathe. When your thoughts spiral into worst-case scenarios, remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. That tiny pause between stimulus and response, that's your power, and no one can take it unless you hand it over. So as the day begins, tell yourself, my peace is mine, and today I guard it like gold. 3. Focus where it matters. How much of your day is spent worrying about things you can't control? The economy, other people's opinions, the weather, the past, the future. It's like pouring your energy into a bottomless cup and wondering why you always feel drained. That's why this morning truth is vital. Today, I focus only on what I can control. Epictetus taught this distinction more than 2,000 years ago. Some things are up to us and some are not. That's not just philosophy, it's survival. Imagine your mind as a circle. Inside it, your actions, your thoughts, your words, your choices. Outside it, other people's behaviors, outcomes, traffic, politics, time. Most people live outside their circle, trying to force, fix, or figure out what isn't theirs to hold. And they wonder why anxiety follows them everywhere. But when you bring your focus back inside, something changes. Your clarity sharpens, your energy returns. It's like being in a storm and realizing you can't stop the rain, but you can put on a coat, you can drive carefully, you can choose your attitude. Stoicism teaches that control is not about domination, it's about discernment, knowing what's yours and letting the rest pass like clouds. So if something bothers you today, pause and ask, is this inside my circle? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. That mental filter might save you more peace than 100 coping tools. Focus where it matters. That's not detachment, that's discipline. 4. Separate your worth from the outcome. Have you ever felt like your value depends on how much you get done, or how perfectly you do it? Like if today doesn't go well, you don't feel well. If you fail, you're not just disappointed, you feel defective. That's the trap. We confuse effort with identity. And we forget this essential morning truth. My worth is not measured by today's outcomes. Seneca, who was exiled, humiliated, and still held his dignity, once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Your worth isn't something that rises and falls with your to-do list. It's not a number, not a title, not a response. It's who you are when the lights go off and no one's clapping. It's your intention, your resilience, your quiet effort in the dark. Stoics call things like success, wealth, praise, preferred indifference. Nice to have, but never the measure of a life well lived. Imagine planting a seed, you water it, you give it light. But whether it sprouts today or next week, that's not entirely up to you. Your role is to show up consistently, honestly, not to judge yourself by how fast the flower blooms. Detach from results, not because results don't matter, but because they don't define you. You are not your performance. You are not your productivity. You are the one who shows up anyway. So today, do your best, but whether it's a win or a loss, remind yourself, I am not what happens to me. I am how I respond. 5. Move from intention to action. How many times have you said, I need to, and never followed through? You meant well. You even felt inspired, but somehow the moment passed and nothing changed. This is where mornings deceive us. They feel like progress just because we're thinking about change. But the Stoics didn't worship intention. They revered action. That's why this morning reminder matters. I will act, not just intend. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who faced wars, betrayal, and disease, still wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, and as a human being, what do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for?" It's raw, real, no fluff. He didn't talk about motivation, he talked about duty, about rising not when it's easy but when it's time. Intentions are like arrows still in the quiver. They look good but they don't hit the target. Only action moves the needle. One simple practice to bridge the gap. Link every intention to a when, where, and how. Not just I'll meditate, but I'll sit in silence for 5 minutes right after I brush my teeth. That's not rigidity, it's freedom. Because it stops your goals from floating into the fog of someday. So today, don't just mean to start. Start. Do the thing imperfectly, quietly, even awkwardly. Because action rewires the mind. Action builds identity. Action is who you become. 6. See obstacles as training. Ever had a day that started well until something went wrong? An unexpected delay, an argument, a curveball that threw everything off. Most people tighten up in those moments. They ask, why is this happening to me? But the Stoic mind asks something else. How can this make me stronger? Because the truth is, every challenge is a chance to grow stronger. James Stockdale, a US Navy officer held in a brutal prison camp for 7 years, credited Stoicism for his survival. He endured torture, isolation, and hopelessness, yet emerged with his character intact. How? He anchored himself in one idea. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. That's what real resilience looks like, not toxic positivity, but choosing to grow through the pain. Marcus Aurelius echoed it centuries earlier. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It's not just a quote, it's a compass. Every time life blocks you, it's offering you something. Strength, patience, focus, grit. Imagine lifting weights. Resistance isn't a problem. It's the point. No tension, no growth. So the next time something interrupts your day, say this silently. This is not against me, this is for me. A test, a lesson, a sharpening. You are being trained, not punished. 7. Run your own race. Have you ever scrolled through social media in the morning and suddenly felt behind? Like everyone else is ahead, more successful, more disciplined, more fulfilled. And you feel stuck, not enough, out of time. That quiet panic isn't just insecurity, it's the cost of comparison, and it steals more joy than failure ever will. That's why this truth must anchor your morning. I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. Epictetus gave a sharp reminder. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because growth doesn't look impressive, discipline isn't flashy, real change happens off camera, in silence, in repetition, in solitude. But we forget. We measure our behind the scenes by someone else's highlight reel, and we lose our pace trying to run someone else's race. Imagine a horse running at full speed, then breaking stride because it's watching the lane next to it. It trips, not because it's slow, but because it looked away. Your life has its own tempo, its own purpose, and no one else can walk it for you. So if someone else is ahead today, let them be. If someone seems to have it all figured out, wish them well. But don't let it steal your focus. Look forward, stay in your lane, keep showing up. Your only competition is the version of you who stayed in bed. 8. Choose discipline over mood. Ever wake up feeling completely unmotivated, even when you want to care? You know what matters, you know what needs to be done, but your body resists, your mind makes excuses, and the day starts slipping away. That's the danger of waiting for motivation. It's a mirage, it comes and goes, and unreliable, unstable, emotional. That's why Stoics choose something stronger. I choose discipline over motivation. Cato the Younger, a Stoic known for his fierce integrity, once walked barefoot in the cold, wore rough clothing, and trained his body against comfort, not to impress anyone, but to master himself. He knew comfort was addictive. He knew the world would test him, so he trained in discomfort to remain unshaken when it arrived. Discipline is doing what's right, regardless of how you feel, and that's what makes it powerful. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't move, doesn't flicker, doesn't wonder if it feels like shining today. It stands. And because it stands, others find their way. That's what discipline does. It anchors your life when the waves of mood crash in. So if you wake up tired, bored, discouraged, do it anyway. Not to punish yourself, but to keep your word to yourself. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a companion. And every morning, you get to choose who walks with you. 9. Let gratitude rewire your mind. It's easy to wake up thinking about what's missing, what's wrong, what's not enough. And if you're not careful, That becomes your lens, a filter of lack, a script of scarcity, one that colors your entire day before it even begins. That's why you need this reminder, especially in the quiet hours. Gratitude will shape how I see the day. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And nothing is wasted faster than a morning lived in mental absence." You're not owed another day. You're not guaranteed another sunrise. But you have this one, right here, right now. Stoics used a practice called negative visualization, not to be morbid, but to remember that everything could be taken, and that's exactly what makes it precious. That first sip of coffee, the silence before the world stirs, the fact that you can still breathe, move, choose. Modern neuroscience confirms it. Gratitude doesn't just feel good. It rewires the brain, strengthens attention, lowers anxiety, deepens connection. It's like cleaning a dirty window. You don't change the scene, you just see it clearly for the first time. So instead of rushing into the day with a mind full of demands, pause. Name 3 things: simple, specific, real. I'm grateful for this warm bed. I'm grateful for the chance to try again. I'm grateful for the person I'm becoming. Gratitude is not weakness. It's training, and it turns survival mode into presence. 10. Begin with your end in mind. Most people wake up thinking only about what's next, tasks, messages, obligations. But Stoics trained their minds to think deeper, not just what they were doing, but who they were becoming. That's why this final truth is powerful. I will end the day better than I started. Each sunrise is more than a signal to get moving. It's a contract, an agreement between you and your potential. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be honest. Did I grow today? Did I act with courage, with patience, with presence? Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, didn't judge his days by glory or applause. He judged them by character, by the quiet victories no one else could see. He wrote, "At every hour, give your full concentration. Do what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice." It wasn't about speed, it was about alignment. Imagine life as a staircase. Each day is one step. You don't need to leap 5 stairs at once, just plant your foot firmly on the next one. Improvement doesn't shout, it accumulates. It's built in the unseen choices, the difficult pauses, the held tongue, the finished task, the honest self-check. So when you rise in the morning, don't just ask, "What do I have to do?" Ask, "Who do I want to be by nightfall?" Then aim for it, one small decision at a time. Every morning, your mind stands at a crossroads. One path leads to reaction, noise, emotional fatigue. The other, to calm, clarity, authorship. What you tell yourself in those first few minutes isn't just self-talk, it's architecture. You are shaping the foundation of your day, and by extension, your life. These 10 truths aren't fluffy affirmations. They are Stoic disciplines, battle-tested, time-hardened, spirit-anchoring. They remind you, you are not powerless, you are not your mood, you are not here to drift, you are here to build, to respond, to grow, slowly, steadily, honestly. Because the goal isn't to win the day, it's to live it well, to end it better than you started, to face what comes with strength, to meet your own gaze at night and feel no need to look away. That kind of peace doesn't come from luck. It comes from what you practice, and every single morning. So start tomorrow on purpose. Repeat these truths. Let them settle. Let them guide. And above all, remember this: you can't control the storm, but you can train your mind to be the calm within it. Apply at least 2 of these Stoic habits tomorrow morning and notice the shift.